New season, new car. Welcome to week 1 of the official NASCAR Gen 4 Cup Series, and this week you'll be taking on the Charlotte Motor Speedway for 80 laps. While it may be a brand new set of cars, your approach to qualifying should be the same as what we went over last season with the ARCA series. You'll want to spend your first laps getting up to speed and building as much heat in your tires as you can without inducing understeer and causing unnecessary tire wear. You can do this by backing up your entries and allowing the car to roll through the corners as you take your first timed lap. If you're comfortable running around the outside to build momentum through your first lap, go for it, but your safest bet would be to let the car roll around the lane above the seam in turns 1 and 2. As you make your way down the backstretch and into turns 3 and 4, give it some brake, arc out to the wall, and give yourself a straight shot to the line to begin your final lap. Run to the outside wall and drive your car down into the corner. Give the brake a gentle tap to get the nose pointed, and get as close to the blue line as you can. The car starts out tight in these conditions, so clipping that paint should give you the pivot you need to exit the corner without squaring off your line. Once you're confident that the car's pointed toward the exit, get back on the throttle and run down the backstretch. It's much easier to overshoot this end of the track, so be sure to enter turns 3 and 4 with caution. Give your brakes another drag to get the nose pointed, and wait an extra moment to get back on the throttle to exit the corner. The wall comes up quickly on this end of the track, so don't throttle up until you're absolutely certain you won't lose the nose and hit the wall. Let the car track out naturally and cut as much of the tri-oval as you can to take the checkered flag. Let's see that lap again. And again. Once the race begins, you'll be starting comfortably in second gear. You may feel some wheel spin on the initial start and even more so on the restarts, so be sure to give it a shot during practice. From the beginning of the race, the second and third lanes will be quicker, but the further outside the seam you get, the more abuse you'll be dealing to your right side tires. If you can help it, get to the inside as soon as you can, begin backing up your entries, and hang on to the blue line to the best of your ability. If you can get out of traffic and use the full width of the racing surface, you would be in a prime position to save rubber. As the run goes on, the direction your handling goes will be decided by your discipline at the start of the run. If you immediately went on offense, odds are that you pushed too hard, meaning your car will be trending tight. If you went to the inside and avoided overdriving your entries as I've advised, you'll still feel the car trending tight, but your cornering speeds will be higher, thus gaining back the time you lost conserving with interest. These are my tires after 26 laps of running the inside at a manageable pace. I could have backed off further at the beginning of my run and seen less fall off, but this pace is more than good enough to find yourself on the right end of the long run. What this right side wear tells me is that I was leaning too heavily on my right front through the corners, but only just. The balance of the car felt fine, and I wasn't having any trouble keeping my car on the inside. As you pass the halfway point in the fuel run, you'll find that the cars that passed you in the beginning will be falling off hard, whether they're missing the bottom or insisting on staying in the second and third lanes. As long as you hold your position around the inside and keep your right front wear at a manageable threshold, you will be able to get around them. You'll also notice that the car will become looser down the front stretch. This will happen regardless of how hard you run your car, but by giving the throttle a slight lift in traffic and running a smooth line through the corners, this shouldn't become too much of an issue. As the race continues, tire strategy will come into play. While I don't know how many sets you'll be getting yet, I'll assume that you'll have 2 sets in the pits at your disposal. If I'm wrong, feel free to disregard this part, but I usually wait until after the halfway point to take my first set of tires. Whether you plan on staying out as long as your fuel load will let you, or find yourself hit by a string of cautions, this is a rule I hold myself to in every race I run at this distance, and more often than not, it works out. That said, be careful with wheel spin on the restarts, as being the only driver to stay out opens you up to make very embarrassing mistakes. Don't be that guy. If you can keep your nose clean, manage your tires well, and make the right calls as the cautions fall, you could find yourself battling for your first win in the best stock cars in iRacing. Good luck.